Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast. I'm here every week. We have a special guest. Trevor from the Upper Bowl podcast hasn't been here for a while. Current guest on the show, might come back full time. Who knows? You never know. We're all about surprises here at Fly Like an Eagle. But we have a huge game today against the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys, let's be honest, they're not that good of a team. We're not that good of a team. We could finish 6-9-1 at the end of the year. What are they? 5-8 right now? 6-8? I don't even know. I don't even give a shit.
5-9, I believe. It's
5-9. I don't even care, honestly. They're not that good of a team. We should handle our business. But with that said, we have to play. We have to come to play. It's Dallas week, hate week. Trevor, buddy, pal, how you doing?
It's maybe I'm gonna say it's maybe a regular take. This is like the worst Eagles Cowboys week of all time because I've not been hyped up for it. It's like we both stink. The Cowboys are 5-9. The Eagles are 4-9-1.
Yep.
We're both playing for a draft pick. All the Cowboy fans I know are like, I want to lose. Like, no, I want to lose because we want the draft pick. That's how it is. So, and flexing this game to be the second game for Fox was the greatest move ever because America does not need the Cowboys on national TV right now. Like this is the biggest shit show of a game I've probably seen that we're like parts of the area does not have to watch, thankfully.
Well, it's crazy because this game might turn into, for next week for us, it could turn into a flex spot because if we win this game and Washington loses, that could be potentially a 4:25 game opposed to a 1 o'clock game. I know there's no Sunday Night Football game next week, so that can't get flexed to that spot.
Yeah, you can. Like the Sunday night game usually gets flexed like the day, like they usually announce at the end of the Sunday night game, so they usually announce it like that. So like most likely that game, the Sunday night game for next week, might likely be between the Rams and the Cardinals.
I didn't think there was a Sunday night game because I was looking at the schedule and it said all 4:25 and 1 o'clock games. That's why
they haven't announced it yet. That's why.
Oh, they haven't?
No. It's anything could happen. That's a Sunday night football. Like at the end of week 17, anything could happen.
Yeah, they're really unprepared then. But
no, it's actually a good move by them. It's good for TV ratings. So
it could be good for TV ratings. I mean, yeah, if you did flex the Washington football team and the Eagles into that spot, it would be good football in my opinion because Washington has that killer defensive line, and the Eagles would match up perfectly with them because they're not that talented right now. We do get Deshaun Jackson back though. That's a big player coming back to the team, especially with the speed. You have Regs and you have Deshaun Jackson on the field at the same time potentially, and that could be harmful to the defense. So I just want to get your opinion on this whole Jalen Hurts situation before we talk about the game. Now, in your honest opinion, I have my theories of what Howie Roseman's going to do with Jalen Hurts. He called them a quarterback factory when he drafted them, which means usually you try to get as much potential out of a player as possible, and then you ship them away. Now, what I see out of the dead cap next year for Carson Wentz is that Howie Roseman is cheap. He's a cheap mofo. So he's not going to get rid of Carson Wentz. There's just no way. I said that he played his last snap for the Eagles. Realistically, on paper, he should have played his last snap for the Philadelphia Eagles because he's a broken player. He's not going to go back to what he was. That's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. But looking at the GM and Howie Roseman, I thought this guy was going to be gone. I think it's safe to say he's not going to be gone. So I think Carson Wentz may come back next year, and Jalen Hurts, the way he's playing, he's going to ship him off for a top 15 pick and flip him. That's how I see it.
Okay, we're going to open up Pandora's box here. So let's do this. All right. So I still think Howie's going to get fired still. I really have this weird feeling he's going to, but it all really depends on what happened at the Christmas party. That's the big thing that happened.
Yeah.
The other thing is the John Dorsey as a consultant, which is that's another Pandora's box that we shall open another time soon. Mm-hmm. That could be really interesting as well, because he could find talent, figure out how to make a roster look good. He's a good GM before you get the real GM. Like you look at the Browns, like they got their GM and stuff. Yeah. After Dorsey and the Chiefs as well. So that's where it really looks like to me. For Hurts, to me, I think they're going to keep him because let's be honest here. Were you excited at all when Carson Wentz was starting quarterback at all this year because how awful he looked at the game and what we saw in Cleveland in person? Because I was already checked out.
No, it was I despise Carson Wentz with a passion. Yeah. I don't like him at all as a quarterback, and I almost don't like him as a person. To be honest with you, from the reports that I'm hearing from all these players not wanting to play around him, it makes sense. It came from Jenkins. I don't care what anybody says. He was the rat in the locker room.
Oh, for sure.
Jenkins. And let me tell you guys something. If you ever played the sport of football, if the defense is on the field for 38 to 40 minutes a game, and the offense keeps stalling, goes 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, the defense is going to get pissed at you. I don't care what Fletcher Cox says. Oh, he's our quarterback. That's bullshit. All right. Your job is to play defense. Your job isn't to do overtime every single game. And that's what this defense was doing. They were getting gassed. The offense wasn't helping them, and that pisses players off, believe it or not. So I'm actually when Jalen Hurts came in and started to ball out, the team played for him. You want to know why? Because they don't like Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
When a team doesn't like playing for Carson Wentz, you got to ship him out of here. But they're not going to do that, in my opinion. I feel like
I see it happen. I see it somehow happen. I don't know who the trade partner is. If I were them, this is what I would do. Remember when RG3 got deactivated the whole season in 2015? Yes. If they can't move it, I think they're going to deactivate it for the whole year. That's what I see. And also, there's a few other spots like what's going on because I heard there's rumors of Louis Riddick taking a job. He's a big Carson Wentz supporter at Hawk. So if he takes a Detroit job and they move Stafford and stuff, I could see Wentz going to Detroit, which is kind of hilarious because we love to take players from Detroit and stuff and send players there. But interesting. It really depends what's going to happen and stuff. I think Carson Wentz is what I've read, I've made fun of him multiple times. He's a Bible thumper. I've said it many times and a few other things too.
And he kills deer. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. And see, like everyone go out in the locker room and the stuff, the reports that he doesn't want to be back up. We're like, good riddance, please. I'd rather have someone who wants to be the quarterback of a team who everyone likes. Like Jalen Hurts. Like here's the thing with me, I was never a fan of him at Alabama because I thought he was he was a rushing quarterback, like mostly every other Alabama quarterback doesn't work in the pocket. Then went to Oklahoma, saw him do his thing. Like I still wasn't totally sold. See what he could do in the NFL. I'm pretty excited because it's a new quarterback, and I'm still waiting. I go by the 3 to 4 game thing. What we could do, though, it's early, it's the end of the year. Not everyone's throwing their best defenses at us right now. I think Jalen Hurts could be at least entertaining for us. What's going on, But I personally I want a quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a cool quarterback.
Yeah,
has rallied around him. It's awesome. So,
I mean, this might ruffle some feathers within the fan base because everyone's high on the Jalen Hurts train. Gambling on him throughout the years and watching him at Oklahoma and Alabama, I still think he's fool's gold. I truly do. I think he's playing good in the heat of the moment right now because Carson Wentz, he wants to take the job away from Carson Wentz. I understand that. But you have to evaluate the situation and realize that, do you really want to ship away a guy that was the MVP in 2017 for a guy who most labeled undraftable? Like, I labeled him undraftable. I thought he was going to be undrafted and some team was going to pick him up. Some experts had him going in the 4th or 5th round. So this guy, I think it's too soon. I think this is what Philly fans do too much. They overhype players just because they want that spark immediately. And they don't want to weigh their options. We have a guy that would put us in cap hell if we got rid of him before March. He put us in absolute cap hell for years. So you have to weigh your options. You got to think it over and say, should we trade away Jalen Hurts? Should we take the guy that's performing up to a potential early as a rookie? Should we trade him away, get some value back from him, build a team around Carson Wentz, a guy that we spent so much money on, and then go from there? Or do you take a risk, which the NFL is all about risks, and bring in Jalen Hurts as your starter next year and potentially have Carson Wentz as your backup to start the season and then trade him away? It's a tricky situation for me, but we have a $5 super chat from Jay.
Hey.
I think the offense was playing horrible with Wentz, playing well with Hurts on purpose. They're trying to screw over Wentz. I don't think thanks for the super chat. I don't think they're trying to screw over Wentz. I just feel like they don't like the guy. And someone in the comment section was like, Kyle takes assumptions and speaks like it's true. Well, if you're watching the same team I am, you would realize that this isn't the only year this has happened. You're going back to 2018. They were getting ambushed every single game with Carson Wentz as a starter. What happened when Nick Foles came in against the Rams? He beat them. What happened against the Texans? He beat them. What happened against the Washington football team? Redskins at that time. He beat them. Went to the playoffs. Beat the Bears.
In Chicago.
It was the same exact team. Like the same exact team. And Wentz was the leader of that team for, let's say, 8 weeks. They don't like the guy. I think they genuinely do not like the guy. And that's not an assumption. I think that's a fact.
I agree, too. I think everyone hates him. I think after I heard he has his little clicks and stuff, I think that's really bad for the locker room. That's cancerous, too,
Yeah.
And look at, one thing we used to say, Zach Ertz was a safety blanket for Carson Wentz. He was horrible all year of Carson Wentz's quarterback. Jalen Hurts, he's fucking back,
Yeah. And like I said, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, what's up?
It's wild. It's crazy. Like Zach Ertz was non-existent in the offense for the whole year. Now he's like, oh my God, Ertz is back.
No, and he was his prime target. He was Wentz's prime target, and it pissed me off. I was like, get Ertz out of here because he only targets him. And now he can't even target him. It's nuts. And Wentz is like, oh, I don't want to be a backup. Like he said he was a team guy. He was checking out the tablet for Hurts. He was like patting him on the back. All right, just because he does that on national TV doesn't make him a good guy, doesn't make him a good teammate. I'm sorry. He was doing that for a show showing that, oh, I am a good guy. See, I'm patting him on his back. I'm making him feel good. No. I've seen 3 years of it to where the Carson Wentz you see, the guy that Bible studies, is not the same guy you see on the football field. There's a time for business, there's a time for friends, and there's a time for religion. The time for business is on the football field, and he's not getting it done. And when he said a comment like that to NBC Sports the other day, to where I don't want to be a backup, that was the last straw to me. Like to any GM, to any person in the front office, that is the last straw to get you out of here. The unfortunate fact is, what are we going to do with this contract? Like it's impossible.
I was going through
$56 million.
I was going through the contract. If you get around the summertime, the cap hits a little lower.
Yeah.
Not like 60 million. I think it's around like 24 million, I believe. So there's doable parts to it. So I'm not no lawyer and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting what's gonna happen. So
well, this is Howie's expertise right here, cap guy. So hey, if he fixes the cap, if he gets him out of here and it doesn't hurt us, good. And then we could get him out of here.
If he can get rid of Sam Bradford, he can probably get rid of Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about him, I guess. I mean, the fact that he's a good accountant, he could get away for some things, but he's not a good personnel guy. So if we do get like a top 7th pick, I want to get Jamar Chase. That's who I want. That's the one guy I'm labeling in on, him or Devonta Smith, but Chase is obviously better. We're not, and as much as people want to say, we're not in a position as the New York Giants. All right. Reason why I'm talking about the New York Giants is because they want to get to the playoffs when they're not done a rebuild. The problem with us is if we get to the playoffs as a 6-9-1 team, we could actually win a game, because we have the talent on our roster. The Giants don't have the talent on their roster. So that's the difference between us and them. If Jalen Hurts is playing back to the Cleveland game, we don't finish the season at 6-9-1.
No.
We have a much better record.
If they threw Jalen Hurts after the Ravens game, like we would have a better chance. Like
we almost beat the Ravens and Pittsburgh with Carson Wentz, and he wasn't even that great.
No, like I think I said this after like one of the horrendous losses we had. It was like I forgot what game it was before I took my sabbatical. Like I said this on my podcast as well. Like I'm not going to be totally enthused with Carson Wentz as quarterback. I said it after the Browns game. He gave me if you're not going to give me a caring, I'm not going to care for you. And when I was somewhere else, not watching the Eagle game. Someone told me, Jalen Hurts is in the game. I actually told my friends, like, put the Eagle game on. Jalen Hurts is on. That's the first time I got so in tune with an Eagle game. So.
Zach Harris, regular on the show. Pre-June, well, he's actually my co-host. Pre-June first trade is 33 million cap hit. A release is 59 million cap hit. So if Howie can work his magic and get him out of here before the 1st of June, that would work. That would work for us. But I don't know. I feel like Carson Wentz is the kind of guy, and this is put my business hat on. Carson Wentz is the kind of guy that's going to nickel and dime this team. I don't feel like he's going to give up easily. I truly don't. Everyone sees him as a Bible study guy, a Jesus guy. When it comes to business, dollars and cents, I do not. I feel like he's going to give the Eagles the hardest time getting out of this contract. I just feel like he's that type of guy.
I see him. If he gets released, if no team picks him, he should just go become a pastor. That's what I think he should just be doing right now. So he'll explain how to save all your money and steal money from an organization. So
yeah, if Carson Wentz was still starting, we'd lose out. That was a good comment.
Yeah,
I mean,
if let's go back to the Arizona game. If Carson Wentz was starting the Arizona game and we were down 17-0, we would have gotten shut out by then.
We would have lost probably like what was the final score? 28 to
no, it was like 30 something, 36-28 or something. Like
we would have lost 36-3 probably.
Yeah. So
that's how bad it was with Carson Wentz.
Like there's so many differences and stuff. Like if let's say this, like the 48-7 game in 2018, that's when they should have benched Carson Wentz.
Yes.
And like there's that game and the Dallas game as well. Like those are two games you should have benched him and put in fulls.
Now, actually, I want to bring up a hot topic here because
bring it up.
All right, so Tua down in Miami. He got benched twice this year, and he wasn't injured. Carson Wentz was never put in that situation, and Carson Wentz underperformed in games more than Tua did. So that's something I want to bring up. Brian Flores down in Miami already benched the rookie that's supposed to be their phenom, their franchise for the next 10 to 15 years. They already benched him twice, shattering his confidence for Ryan Fitzmagic. Doug Peterson hasn't even attempted to do that until this year. And to me, that's a problem. That's a head coaching problem to me. Because right now it seems that Doug Peterson, well, I already knew this, but Doug Peterson coaches quarterbacks differently than he were to coach Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz and him, they just do not mesh. They're not a good tandem. And if Doug gets fired, they're going to keep Wentz. But if they trade Wentz away, Doug's going to stay. So you got to get rid of one of them. But Brian down in Miami is an example of what Doug Peterson should have done this year to try to fix Carson Wentz before it was too late. To me, that's on the coach right there.
Brian Flores is my coach of the year for this year for anyone. Like, when we look at it, I thought the Miami's would be the 2-win team, get the top 5 pick, and they also have a Texas top first round pick as well. Then they get two at least top 10 picks at least. When you look at it, what Brian Flores has done is create a culture down there, and plus he's trying to make the best situations a win. Me personally, he's looked okay. I just don't think he's the answer right now. Mm-hmm. I think they should have stuck with Fitzmagic the whole time, and then we'll be entertained by that. Yeah, if I were the Dolphins personally, I would stick with Fitzmagic, honestly.
Right.
I think Tua needs more time to look at the playbook. I think they throw him in a little too soon. I wish there was preseason for him, because then we could see what's going to happen to him. Because I don't think Tua's the answer right now. I just don't think he's the right thing. I think they missed. I don't think so either. I think the best quarterback they missed on was Justin Herbert. Imagine Justin Herbert with Miami.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the NFL draft. You never know. I mean, on paper, Tua looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, if not the best quarterback in the draft over Joe Burrow. But Justin Herbert, I had ranked going as a second-round pick. So you never know. You know, these kids, they develop. It's a strange development between some of these players coming from college into the NFL. Look at Jalen Hurts. I had him as a 4th or 5th rounder, and he's balling out as one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. So, I mean, you never really know. And that's why I'm never really going to put it on the GMs as much, especially, Howie Roseman, everyone's saying you should have drafted Justin Jefferson, and I understand that. But what you guys have to understand is Justin Jefferson wouldn't be doing what he's doing in Minnesota here.
Or Brandon Ayuk, who I personally want. I think you get coached by pro personnel in college, like Herm Edwards, and like that staff is all NFL guys and stuff. Yeah. Like he was thriving well, like better than N'Keal Harry. So that was my pick, and look what he's done. I'll say this: he's one of the top 2 best wideouts in this year's draft. He's looked way better than CeeDee Lamb. Him and Jefferson are my 2 best wideouts of the 2020 draft. Yeah, well,
Justin Jefferson's definitely probably the stud of the draft. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, he started off hot, and then all of a sudden he said he kind of floundered away.
Yeah.
But right now, I'd have to say Justin Jefferson's the top of the class.
I say Jefferson 1, Ayuk 2, CD 3.
Yeah.
4, Rager, and Denzelman 5.
Well, I think listen. You could call me biased.
I know. Yeah. I go from like the bird's eye view. So
no, you could call me biased. You call me what? I still think Rager has so much potential. I truly do, and I just feel like he needs the right quarterback.
I saw him play in college because he was getting balls thrown for one of the New Canaan kids down at TCU who's now at Rice now. So it's like when you look at TCU, they really haven't had a consistent quarterback to get the ball to them.
No, I mean, the last year he was there, the quarterback connected like on 30% of his passes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And you're not going to thrive that way. The season before that, he had a 1,000-yard season. We're talking about Jalen Rager. He had a 1,000-yard season.
With Michael Connolly or whatever.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those things where you have to have patience on. I know people want to jump on every single player that does a bad job. Like, look at Nelson Aguilar. He's balling. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen because Nelson Aguilar has some of the best footwork I've ever seen out of a wide receiver. The problem was his time was done here. Just like Carson Wentz. I feel like Carson Wentz's time is done here. Will he thrive somewhere else? Probably. I'm not denying that. I think he'll turn into a Pro Bowler somewhere else. He'll turn into to the 2017 edition of himself somewhere else, but it's not going to be here. You need thick skin. You need a tough mind, tough-skinned mind to play in the city of Philadelphia. Everyone knows that. Every single player, the players on every single big franchise in the city, we have at least one of them that, at times they're not there because they can't take the pressure. They can't take the heat. It's like Carter Hart on the Philadelphia Flyers. He's the first goalie in the last 20 years for the Philadelphia Flyers that actually plays well because he doesn't let the pressure get to him. Now, he lets up some bad goals at times, but we found ourselves a goalie because he has thick skin. You need thick skin to play in this town. And Nelson Aguilar, he kept dropping passes, number one, because Carson Wentz threw him into pretzel positions to where he'd expect the ball down here to be up here. And number two, he was just done mentally. And a lot of people called him soft. They said he sucked. He has 8 touchdowns this year and 800 yards. So, I mean, that's definitely going to be a game.
He's doing well on the seam route, which he should have done from the start with Mike Nelson Aguilar. So, and they didn't. So, as you can tell what the Eagles wideouts coaching like to do.
Yeah. I mean, when you don't have an offensive coordinator, you have double duty job when it comes to Doug, and he got exposed this year big time. So,
Alex K, just shut up, please, about the Cowboys, please, with CD Lamb.
Yeah, it is the Cowboys show. You're going to get Cowboys fans on here.
I know. I just don't think CD Lamb is – I think he's the third best wideout. So
I think he's good. I just think transitioning from Dak to Andy Dalton's kind of a big step or a big decline, in my opinion.
Don't forget Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, Ben DiNucci for the greatness of JMU. So
I was at his only start, and it was like one of the worst games I've ever been to.
Oh, there's nothing worse than seeing him start as a Pitt Panther.
If the Cowboys had a different quarterback start in that game, I swear to God we would have lost that game.
Oh, I was. That's why I didn't want to go, because I knew if we would lose that game if I'm in attendance, I would want to kill myself.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
I was there. It was cold. It was windy. We actually have a decent comment here. Something happened to Wentz's head after that hit by Clowney.
Yes. Oh. I will say this. I had Gail Saunders on my the Upper Bowl podcast. I think it was before the Packer game or the Seahawks game. It was one of those episodes. Go listen to that. Mm-hmm. I brought that up, actually. It's like, I think it's because of the post-concussive syndrome. He's not looked good ever since he's gotten that hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the causes, too. I think that's numero uno. Then it's the hurt stuff. Then everything else after that. I think that's the top answer why he's been horrible.
Well, yeah, they got Hurts immediately in that draft, and I'm like, what are you doing? You just paid this guy all that money. Now he's going to – the problem is he's not really a thick-skinned individual, so he's going to have a problem with that as it is. But if he really does have post-concussion symptoms, that's not good, and you're stuck in that contract. Like, I've never had migraines. I know this one guy on the Philadelphia Flyers, Nolan Patrick, dealing with migraines consistently, and I've never want that in my life. I can only imagine what it's like. But if that's what Wentz is dealing with time in and time out, it's not good for the franchise. It's really not. So.
I got a question for you. He's more a mental midget right now when he was in Philadelphia. Markelle Fultz or Carson Wentz right now?
Okay, I'm going to say Markelle Fultz because Markelle Fultz was complete cheeks the whole time he was here. At least Carson Wentz had an MVP season.
Okay.
And at least he tried. Like last year, he had 4,000 yards with. I know
if the attitude right now, it sounds very Markelle Fultz-ish,
Yeah.
With his attitude and how like Markelle Fultz had his parents had like security cameras all over his house, apartment, which was wild. So
no, Markelle Fultz was trash when he was here. I said he was going to thrive somewhere else. That's what every player does in the city of Philadelphia when they leave. They thrive somewhere else. But yeah, Markelle Fultz, players like Markelle Fultz, you had to get rid of. We got rid of him for little to nothing. That was my problem with that. Got rid of Markelle Fultz. If you get rid of Carson Wentz, you're going to take a big dump in the salary cap, and you're going to have to move on from some players this year, like Jason Kelce. You don't know if he's going to come back. Zach Ertz, you might have to give him away. You just don't know. There's a lot of decisions to make in the offseason, which is why making the playoffs this year would make, in my opinion, decisions even more difficult than they are. Because if you don't make the playoffs this year, you're starting over. You're kind of starting fresh because you're getting that top pick. But if you make the playoffs, you're automatically going to get, a 20th pick? So it's definitely something where, I'm an Eagles fan, but at the end of the day, do I really want to make the playoffs? This year, no, not really. But if we made the playoffs, it's another game. I'd have fun. I'd watch it. COVID sucks. I understand it's entertaining. But as a diehard Eagles fan, if you're going to ask me, gun to my head, do I want to make the playoffs this year? No, I really don't.
Yeah, I don't want the playoffs either, but it's like I have a future bet, so I'm like, I want the draft pick.
Yeah, but how much money did you put on that? Let's be honest.
$20.
Okay. I mean, we blow $20 all the time. So I mean,
I know that, but sometimes I like money, you know.
Now, if it was $200, then okay, you got.
Yeah, I kind of I learned my lesson. Do $20. If you know it's a lock, like the Packers beating the Saints +3, you can hammer that with all your money, which I did once.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like AB's head after. Wait, I just missed that one. Just like AB's head after the perfect hit. Yeah, I mean, but AB's actually playing. It took him time to find his rhythm down there in Tampa, but he's playing well now, so that's good.
He found a therapist. That's what he found.
Yeah, found a therapist. I feel like everyone needs a therapist, honestly.
Hey, it's the greatest investment of all time. So.
Yeah, it could be the greatest, but it drains your wallet because they could tell you the answers in like 5 minutes, and they just make it go on for hours and hours and hours.
That's why he's top at an hour. It's perfect. You do it like once a week or once a week per week. So,
do they ever ask you, how do you feel about that?
No, I never get that question.
No.
Like once a week, I kind of like because during the holiday season, like I hate the holidays personally. So I was like, I told her like, Chris, are you going to take a Christmas break? Like, absolutely not. I'm going to need you after Christmas as well.
I hate celebrating Christmas with my family. We always have that drunk asshole uncle that comes over. I drink before New Year's every single day.
Oh, I doubt anyone in my family listens to this or watches this. I got sick and tired of everybody real quickly. I popped a CBD. I felt so relaxed.
Yeah.
By 8 o'clock, I passed out because I had to work the next day. I never woke up so relieved and so less painful. It was the greatest feeling ever. So shout out to 3 Cheek. Go get your CBD there. Get your edibles there, please.
I had a good time with my family this year. Like the past years, you always have that one guy that tries to mess everything up, but this year was good. I had a good time.
Like my uncle's like, why don't you get me on the podcast? Like, you don't belong on the podcast. Sorry. Like, I said this. I'd rather have Jim McMahon on the podcast, who I know I'm going to get a great story out of.
Now I'll ask you for your game prediction right now.
Go ahead.
All right. So how do you think this game's going to go down, and what's your ultimate score prediction?
I took the Cowboys +2.5 on Thursday because I just don't trust the Eagles, and I want this. I'm going by this theory. If I bet against the Eagles, they usually win. If I bet on the Eagles, they usually lose.
Right.
So I bet the Cowboys. I feel like I could make some money out of this. So I personally would like the Cowboys to win because we want that top 5 draft pick.
Okay.
And we need that. And I'll say this. I don't mind losing to Dallas at all. Like last year, I hate being swept by them. Like if I can get one win out of them, I'm fine. Like if we split home and home, I'm cool with that. I just want to be able to say this. If we lose, I have no problem at all with that because I'm not salty. Like last week, I was not salty at all that we lost to the Cardinals because I had the over, and I expected that out of like Jalen Hurts would keep the team alive. This game, when Andy Dalton's not the main primetime game, he usually goes off.
Oh, big time.
Big time. Like look at the Viking game. He was not the prime game against the number 1 game on Fox. So if you're like the number 2 or 3 game, he'll pull his usual instance and win. So I'm expecting a Cowboy win here, 20-17.
All right, I'm on the other side. I feel like the Eagles are going to win this game 28-14. The Dallas Cowboys, in my honest opinion, they're not very good. They're 5-9, like we said before. They're not very good. We're playing with momentum. Jalen Hurts has his team playing up. The defense isn't as bad as everyone thought they were, including myself. I think that Jim Schwartz is the one guy that should stay, to be honest with you. I love Jim Schwartz. He has his defense going every single week, and I feel like the defense is going to shut down Zeke. They paid all that money to the front for obvious reasons. They're going to shut him down, and you're going to have to make Andy Dalton throw. So I feel like with all that said, I feel like we're going to not shut down Dallas, but we're going to limit them. So I feel like we're going to score 28 points, and it's going to be 28-14. The Philadelphia Eagles going into Washington next week, where it might not even matter because if the Washington football team beats Carolina this week, we're out.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
I'm trying to look at the roster report, see if Slay's playing. Derek Barnett did not make the trip. I saw.
Yep.
Because of a calf. I was trying to figure out if we have Slay back or not. Is he back or no?
I didn't look at the updates. If Slay's not playing, that could be a huge hole, even though Slay's been underwhelming this year.
I'll say this: Slay's been the best. Like I'll say this: like replacing Jenkins with Slay, like people might hate it. I don't mind it personally.
Yeah,
because Slay gets his job and stuff. Like me personally, I wish we had Slay last week because I was looking forward to Hopkins versus Slay, and I said this on the podcast. Like if we get Hopkins versus Slay, both players mic'd up, that would have been NFL Network goldness for the random 405 game for the Fox game. So
Hopkins is dirty. He has probably the strongest hands in almost NFL history. Like
and Slay against him would have been the best thing we would have on TV.
We would have got torched badly.
I know, but at least it'll be entertaining, you know.
Panthers can beat Washington. Haskins is playing. Yeah, Haskins stinks. Everyone knows Haskins stinks. You know who else is out? Terry McLaurin. I saw it before. Terry McLaurin's out of the game, and Haskins is playing.
Booty flakes did not work out for you, my brother.
Well, that evens out the whole Christian McCaffrey not playing.
Yeah, Mike Davis has been pretty good for the Panthers.
Yeah, he's all right.
The Panthers need a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is a great bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
As I think I've said this a few times on my show. I think he was a good bridge quarterback for the Vikings. I was not expecting Kirk Cousins to go there.
Yeah.
I think that Zach Wilson kid from BYU will go to Carolina.
Right.
Or I don't know. I think that's my landing spot for him personally. The BYU kid go there or Washington. But Carolina needs a quarterback. Their whole they went all defense. I think they need a new GM, which they fired the GM Marty Herney, he architected the two times the Panthers went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 38 and 50. So I think there's time. Like that's a kind of appealing job. And you have a head coach who's a college guy, but he knows the classes that are coming out since he recruited via Temple, Baylor, has a little NFL experience. I like Matt Rule's a good hire, and he's got a long contract. So I think it's a good job to have. I think that's kind of appealing job. I think that job's appealing more than Detroit and Houston personally, because Detroit's Detroit. Though you have Chris Spielman trying to bring the culture back, which is really needed there, I don't think it's a good job personally because you have to figure out what do you want to do with Stafford and stuff. Houston, you don't know what you're not drafted until the third round because you lost your first and second round picks with Bill O'Brien. That job's meh. Jacksonville's probably going to fire everybody. Jets, I think they're going to fire everybody. I think Atlanta already fired everybody. I think the best job personally is the Carolina GM job.
Yeah.
And after that, I think it's Atlanta, then Houston, then Detroit.
Okay, I would put Atlanta down below Houston because anything you do in Atlanta, it's always a choke job. No matter what you do, they always choke. I mean, I don't know how many times this year they were up by 20 points and they lost.
I think they just need a new culture. I think they're going to move up from Matt Ryan and Julio.
Yeah.
Like I see Matt Ryan possibly going. If I see him anywhere go, I think he may go. Oh my Lord!
What happened?
So I'm watching the pregame show. Boise State is interested in Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore.
I saw that.
That could be interesting, by the way.
Well, I mean, it fits because he was the quarterback for them.
Yeah.
So he was already there. He knows the scenery. He knows the weather. Like he just knows the atmosphere up there. So
yeah, I'm literally watching this right now, actually. So
yeah,
I think the Bears may fire someone. I doubt it though. But I'll say that
they're going to get rid of Nagy. That's a guarantee.
I know, but they need to get rid of Pace too.
Yeah.
Like I think I've said this on my podcast. We talk all NFL. I think the best coach for Chicago would be either Harbaugh or Fitzgerald from Northwestern.
Okay. Wait, Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's Michigan's the most likely to fire Harbaugh.
Oh God, I don't think Jim Harbaugh should get a job anywhere. Like
I think he should take a sabbatical.
I think he stinks.
I think he should take a sabbatical though. That's what he should have done before he went to Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That's what fucked him up personally.
Yeah,
I said if he took the year off of 15, then go to Michigan, I know the job would have been available, but it's like, okay, I think he may take the Jet job personally. I think that would be the most entertainment value if Jim Harbaugh goes to the Jets.
So you think since he didn't perform in Michigan, he's going to get the Jets job?
Yeah, it's the Williams family.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean Michigan hasn't been good for years. So
they haven't been good since Lloyd Carr left.
I honestly feel like Rutgers is going to overtake Michigan next year.
I think Rutgers could be if Schiano could do everything right. I think they can be. I would like to see him compete against Ohio State. I would like to keep him very close and stuff. It'd be interesting.
Well, Rutgers has a top 20 class coming in next year.
Yeah, I see them better than Penn State already. I think Penn State they're gonna fire everybody.
Penn State stinks, and they're losing Micah Parsons. So
huge. I think he's gonna be a top 10 draft pick though. So
he's the one Penn Stater I'd actually pick.
I don't trust Penn State guys. Here's the funny thing with me.
Yeah,
I go by 3 rules. You don't take a running back from Penn State, which the Eagles have done. So I'm like really hesitant on that. Yeah. You don't take a wideout from Florida State, because they usually go fat or they have crime problems.
Yep.
You do not take a running back from Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, it's the book is still out, by the way. The book is still out. Like Jonathan Taylor's doing his thing, but I still don't go by that rule. And you don't take a quarterback from USC. So
true. I like that rule. No, yeah, Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer.
Palmer was good though. Palmer was the best one out of that bunch.
He was all right. Sam Darnold.
Sanchez.
Sanchez brought the Jets to 2 straight NFC Championship games.
Here's a great one. John David Booty, who couldn't make a lick in the NFL. Cody Kessler, he stunk.
Terrible.
Also another one, you don't take a quarterback from UCLA. Like, name me a quarterback after Troy Aikman.
I actually thought Josh Rosen was going to be good. I was one of the suckers.
I didn't.
Yeah. You know who else I thought was going to be good? And I said, and it's documented on film, who was going to be the best quarterback in that draft class? Josh Allen. Allen.
Okay.
Yeah. We're on the same. I was documenting. I was like, if this kid could fix his mechanics just a little bit, this guy could sling it, and he's fast. Like, I thought he was a really good prospect, and he looked great. Like, he's phenomenal. If it were my pick, if Mahomes weren't in the league right now, he'd get the MVP this year.
Hey, Mahomes is going to get the pick forever until whatever. I like Josh Allen. I saw him. I liked him out of the quarterback class.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him live against the Eagles in last year in 2019. Okay, I saw him like, okay, he's worth the hype, and he's my quarterback I like out of anyone in that class. So, Ohio State, do not ever take a QB out of there. They all stink.
Yeah, Justin Fields is one of those fool's goats.
I wouldn't touch him. I just don't. Like, do you want me to go through the list? Craig Kinzel, Terrell Pryor, Bobby Hoyne. Bobby Hoyne, we had to deal for the Eagles. He was horrendous.
Yeah.
Troy Smith.
Yeah.
Braxton Miller, but they changed him to an H-back, which was hilarious.
Wasn't Braxton Miller there for like 6 years? Yeah,
he was there from 2011 to 15.
Yeah. What was that one player that just would not graduate? It was it Barrett?
JT Barrett, yeah.
It's a one player that was there for like 6 years.
A good old graduate degree, that's what he had, because he didn't start and stuff. And plus, he got injured against the Michigan game, and that's when they had Cardell Jones. That's another quarterback.
Cardell Jones. Yeah, everyone thought that he was going to be great.
No.
Well, he won them the championship against Oregon. I remember that.
And after that, nothing else.
No. And it's probably because they didn't have film on him.
No, not at all. So.
Yeah, it is. But other than that, the great show. We have Cowboys week this week. Oh, today. And listen, if we win, great. If we lose, great. I don't want to lose. I'm not like Trevor. I don't really want to lose this game because I don't like the Cowboys. But if we lose it, we're in good position for a good draft pick, and we'll be set up pretty well for the future, in my opinion. So,
for sure. I'm already in that mode right now, tank mode. So.
Yeah, I went Jamar Chase. I'm not even going to lie to you.
We'll see what happens in this draft process. So
yeah, we'll see. COVID sucked. It wasn't a real season anyway, so it is what it is.